I have been ruining this day for a really long time. This video is something that I've wanted to do for a while now, but every single time that I've sat down and attempted to record it, I couldn't, because I've been worried about the length. I'm going to do a band review of Slipknot. Yeah, Slipknot. You heard me right. Slipknot first broke onto the scene in the late 1990s. The first song that I actually heard from them was on the radio. It was entitled Wait and Bleed. And actually, at first listen, it didn't sound that bad. I was 14 at the time whenever I first heard this song, and it really seemed like something extremely aggressive that I could get into, not to mention it sort of fit into the current, at that time, cornucopia of kind of like alternative / metal artists that were being played on the radio, kind of the radio-friendly metal artists, so to speak. So this was actually kind of positive for me, and I actually made the comment in a mixtape that I made for a friend of mine back then that Slipknot was probably going to be the next big thing. I really, really wish I had been wrong. Really, really wish I'd been wrong. First off, Slipknot has 9 members. For the style of music that they make, they do not need 9 members. You do not need 9 members to make the style of music that they are making, which is basically just semi-radio friendly death metal for retards. You know, this is death metal for kids on the short bus, or for kids that are too afraid to go into the deep, darkened realms of bands like Morbid Angel and Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, actually good death metal. This is almost like taking that particular genre of music, throwing it into a blender and throwing in apples, oranges, strawberries, and a couple other fruity pieces of junk, blending it up together and then pouring it right into your fucking glass and taking a nice big swig. This band has currently 4 albums out. There was the self-titled debut, there was Iowa, Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses, and All Hope Is Gone. There are rumors that a 5th record is going to be made, and maybe their last. I cannot wait. I really hope it's their last. I really hope that All Hope Is Gone is their last. I just hope that something happens where they just up and call it quits. Now, am I going to sit here and say I'm glad that Paul Gray died? No. Because death is not something that you laugh about. Death is not something that you make fun of. It's not something where you say, No. No, you don't do that. But this was a band that should have died and should have actually never been doing anything. They should have not have been in music. First off, let's get into their look. The way that they're doing this is pretty simple. Whenever they started out, they were all using jumpsuits and masks. Now, whenever Mudvayne came out, they also were using masks. But here's the funny thing. Most people called Mudvayne originally Slipknot ripoffs. Mudvayne was actually around prior to Slipknot with their first LP, LD50. And before both of them was Mushroomhead, that was already using sort of a slapstick creation of masks as well. So what the fuck? Do maggots, which are Slipknot's fans, have to be that up the band's ass to actually proclaim that their band was the most original one out there, even though they were a ripoff of actually a ripoff? Now, Mudvayne did the smart thing. They used the masks because they knew that Slipknot was getting credibility, and used it to also get flushed into the mainstream. And after that, they took off the masks, and they actually started making some music that was semi-decent. It's not great. It's by far not great whatsoever, but it's decent. They actually kind of developed a little bit of an identity. Slipknot never really went outside of the box all of that much from what they were doing. They did it only on a couple of choice songs, but for the most part, it's still just crap. The vocals are a mix of clean vocals, screaming vocals, growling vocals, really poorly done growling vocals, and just boombastic music done by multiple drummers, but it sounds like on some songs that they're just drumming on steel kegs. And actually, whenever you see them live, someone is actually pounding on a keg. 9 members to do what other bands can do with 4 or 5 does not make you hardcore. It doesn't make you cool. It means that it means it takes 10 members or 9 members of talent to do what normal musicians can do with 4. Let's make it worse. After the release of Iowa, they broke off and did their own solo projects. Corey Taylor did Stone Sour. There was Wednesday 13. There was the Murder Dolls. So on and so forth. Wednesday 13 actually wasn't a part of it, but a member was over there doing it. And everybody thought this was the end of Slipknot, but it wasn't. 2 more albums. 2 more damaging albums. And if the albums themselves and the music is not enough, the fans of this band are absolutely monotonous to speak to. Seriously. A lot of the fans of this band, and I'm not going to say all, because that is a terrible generalization to make. There are some very, very knowledgeable Slipknot fans. However, many of, I'm going to say, the younger generation of Slipknot fans and many of the more naive Slipknot fans have absolutely zero taste in actual good music. They have no taste. Slipknot is the center of their universe, and they really don't escape the realm of that radio-friendly metal/alternative idea. Most of these fans will also cite bands such as Disturbed and Korn as their favorite artists, and if they like any sort of rap, it's usually ICP, which is the Insane Clown Posse. So not only are they maggots, but they're also juggalos. 2 esteemed groups in the musical race today that should be exterminated, such as the Jews in the Holocaust. But you know what? I'm not going to wish that sort of death upon them. Instead, I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you what really should happen. If this was a perfect world that coverkillernation ran, this is exactly what would have happened. 8 of the 9 members of Slipknot would be out of the music business 100%. Why? Because they'd be keeping their clown masks on, and they'd be in a circus run by me. Joey Jordison, the drummer, would be juggling drumsticks, doing it through his legs, doing it around the world. He's getting a drumstick out of a KFC bucket, putting the bucket on his head like fucking Buckethead, and still juggling everything. It's great. Everyone's loving it. Look at the clown juggling the drumstick. Look at the clown juggling the drumstick from KFC. All the other members are doing other sideshow activities. One's putting his head inside of a lion's mouth. There's 2 doing the trapeze. There's one that's riding around the fucking unicycle. But which one? Which member is still going to be allowed in the music business? Well, I'll tell you which one. Corey Taylor. I'm going to allow Corey Taylor to remain in the music business. But here's his job. He's not going to be in the music business as the leader of Stone Sour. He's not going to be in the music business as the sole principal solo artist of Slipknot. No. Corey Taylor's fate in my world is that he is the soundcheck man for Limp Bizkit. Yeah. This is one of those bands that I cannot stand. And the fans, you guys don't help. Maggots are the definition of elitists. And elitists are exceptionally annoying, not to mention very, very bland as far as their musical realm is concerned. Exploration is not a bad thing. If you've never heard of Slipknot, I'll tell you what you should do. You should avoid this miserable shitload of fuck of a band at all costs. You would rather have a razor blade get jump-started right into your ear, pierce your brain and destroy your entire sense of purpose, You would rather go outside and play in traffic on a pogo stick while a dog is chasing you. You would rather shove a whole entire watermelon up your ass than listen to Slipknot for more than 5 seconds. This band is atrocious. They're terrible, and I cannot tell you how many times I've had this conversation with people, and they've sung to the praise of the high heavens of this band, and their only argument is just, shut up, you don't know what good music is. I fucking know what good music is. My channel proves it, my collection proves it, whenever I have 800 CDs plus in my collection of solid, good music that actually has taste and refined character, and I'm saying that something sucks, I think I know what I'm talking about. Do I necessarily have my pulse on what it feels like to be a loner, to be in the lower class, to just suck the dick of society? No, because I'm better than that. You can be better too. And you can have a better feel and experience with music if you stay far, far away from this band. That's all there really is to it.